This episode of Chuffed Adventures, we do an old dog rescue, I tackle some odd jobs around the boat, and go for a fresh dip in Golfito. So I was just hanging out on the boat and my friends have found a quite sick old dog apparently, so I'm just going to walk down now and see if we can figure out what's wrong with him and maybe try and find an owner. So we'll see how we go.
He's a body blow.
Yeah, he's very skinny. His eyes look fat too. Where do you live? Take us to your home and then I can talk to your owner. But how to look after you. He must live down this way somewhere. I have a new crew member. So we followed him around a little bit in the streets, and he was going up to some houses in this little kind of area by the water. So I went and asked a lady, because a lady came out and saw us following him. And it was a little confusing because at first, I mean my Spanish isn't perfect, but at first it seemed like she was saying he was her dog. But then she said that he's on the streets all the time. And then when I asked more directly, does he live here in this house? She said, no, he lives at another house, but that, and then I said, well, which house? And anyway, it was all very confusing. I got the impression that she thought like that either she or the owner might get in trouble, and I was kind of trying to say that I'm a veterinarian and it would be free care and I just wanted to help him. So I ended up taking him. So I feel a little bit like I've stolen someone's dog, but he's just so skinny. He's so skinny and he's old and his eyes are terrible. But he's really sweet. So I gave him a good check over. He has got a heart murmur, which is potentially not causing him any ill effects because his lungs sound okay. But I'd say he has got a bit of a respiratory infection as well, because he's got quite a lot of mucus around his eyes and nose. And he does, when he walks, as you could see in the video, he's a little bit stiff. So it's hard to know whether he's potentially been hit by a car or injured, or if he's just really old and has, joint issues and things. So I gave him an injection to help with nausea because he seems like he's feeling a little sick. He doesn't want to eat. I've started him on some antibiotics because he definitely has some sort of infection. I also gave him an injection for pain and an injection to kill all the ticks on him because he's got a bunch of big ticks, and also to kill fleas and internal parasites because, in this country it can just be that he just has a lot of worms. So, yeah, like I said, hard to know exactly what's wrong with him, but I'm going to try and get him better. And then I'll have to decide if he's feeling a little better, like in the next 24 hours or 48 hours, I'm going to have to decide whether to take him back and see whether maybe he goes home and follow him, or whether to just leave him on the boat for a while. We'll have to wait and see. I think I'm getting lonely here by myself. Adopting animals. Yes, he also needs to have a bath, which we might do this afternoon for him. This is pretty much what he's been doing since his bath. Just enjoying boat life, just chilling. With torrential rains predicted, we decided to move our old salty dog down to my friend's house. And with more rain came more leaks. Check out the watercolor change from the rain. I can't go out there because it's raining so much and I don't want to wreck the camera, but wow, looks crazy. Looks like there's land and all the boats are on land. Alrighty, working in tight spaces again. I'm going to clean this old sealant off, which looks like it'll be easy, and then reseal this edge. It's not a permanent fix, but hopefully it'll stop the water coming in. got all the sealant off. Just gonna give it a little clean with some alcohol. And now to apply the sealant. It's not perfectly neat, but it looks a lot better. And if that doesn't seal, I'll just put a heap on, not make it neat in case it's like one of the little cracks in the corner, but I'm hoping it was within the gap. We will test it tonight, I'm sure, because it's 6:30 now, which means we'll have a break maybe until 2ish from the rain, but I'm sure it'll rain later. Looking at that sky. Alright, we are currently leak free. And as you can see, there is a storm, so it's a good test.
What a good boy.
How are we gonna call you? Do you have any name for him? I'm sure he'd be called Negrito. They're all like
Negrito. Right? They all just call him Yellow Day, yeah?
We decided to name our old salt Bob, and he was still feeling quite under the weather, with a respiratory infection, vomiting and dehydration all contributing to his illness, for which he was receiving quite the cocktail of medication. Bob had very pale gums, which can indicate anemia. Giving fluids directly into his veins is best, but when done quickly this can further deplete the number of red blood cells in the body. So instead I gave the fluids under the skin. This meant they could be administered rapidly so he didn't have to sit around waiting in the one spot, but also means they're absorbed more slowly so his body can take more time to take in the water and adjust to it. Instead of going into the vein, we're just going to give him some subcutaneous fluids, so they'll go under the skin and be absorbed a bit more slowly. Hopefully be a bit more comfortable for him. I left Bob pondering life with his new family, and it was back to the boat for jobs. Alright, today I am going to clean some of the lines on board, mainly the ones running to the furler, because they've been sitting on the deck and gotten quite mouldy. It's better not to clean your ropes unless you really have to, because it can weaken them. You can see the line it left on the boat. In hindsight, should have coiled those before we left. We'll give that a good clean though. Alright, I just got them soaking in some really diluted laundry washing powder and plain water, and then I'll give them a really good rinse with just plain water at the end. Alright, all clean and coiled so that they don't end up in the water again. Nothing like coiling lines to make you realise how inadequate your rope handling skills are. You need to get better at that. But they're clean! So this is one of the few places that it's nice to swim in Golfito. There's a lot of areas that the houses run off into, so you're kind of getting like sewerage in the water. So I don't swim near the marina, which is about 1 kilometre that way. And then there's a new marina. You might be able to like almost, hold on, let me see if I can get you, like back behind there, you can see a big boat. So that's the new marina. And they're actually doing some interesting things. It's a more upper class marina, and it's expensive, and they're getting a lot of like the mega yachts in. They get some really big boats, and that's actually one of the US Navy vessels that come in. The Coast Guards and US Navy vessels come in regularly as well. But they've got some really big plans, and they've actually been doing a lot of work with the community. So with the volunteering I did the other day to help paint the little park, which is also in that direction, that was all through them, so that's really nice. But yeah, I came down. The water's actually quite clear here today as far as Golfito water goes, and it's I just wanted to get in the water and go for a swim and have a bit of a relax, so it was nice. Old boy's doing well, our old Salt. He's so cute. He actually ate today, hasn't vomited again since yesterday. He still doesn't look great though. His gums are very, very pale, which worries me. He definitely could have Ehrlichia, which is the blood parasite that a lot of the dogs get here. Yeah. So we'll give him we'll just keep assessing him each day and see how he goes. I'm a little worried that maybe I'm fighting a losing battle called age, and that it might not just be that he has a disease process, but that he actually has, he's just old, and there's only so much you can do about that, unfortunately. So yeah, but we'll see what happens. Just to show you how humid it is here, even the fungi have more fungi growing on them. You see that? Look at that. Later that day, Bob seemed a bit more quiet and his gums were quite pale again. Good evening, Chuffed crew. Unfortunately, I've got some bad news. Nastya and Alex called me this morning and said that the little old man was not doing so well. So I grabbed just a few things and rushed over there. But by the time I got there, he had already passed away. They said that last night he looked much the same as he has been. He's obviously not been well, but we thought he was getting a little better. But that sometimes happens, and although it was really sad, we had a little little burial for him, and Chilli said goodbye, their dog, and things. But I'm just really glad that he had an opportunity to be in a family that loved him, even though it was only for 10 days. It's still so much nicer than being on the street like he was. So yeah, a bit of a sad ending for our old man, but he didn't die in pain, and he had a family, and they were loving him and he was loving them, so that's a good thing. I'd like to say a big thank you to Alex, Nastya and Chilli the dog for caring for Bob. He died in dignity with a name, a full belly and lots of love. Next episode, I get into another spay and neuter campaign, help a turtle and battle another motor. I'm off to Guatemala with my mommy, so there will be a slight break in videos. But until next time, stay chuffed everybody.